What if Sherlock Holmes wasn't the smartest, most famous detective in the family? What if the real genius, the one with the sharpest mind, was his teenage sister Enola? Well, that's exactly what happens in Enola Holmes. And the adventure she takes you on will leave you guessing until the very last moment. Released in 2020, Enola Holmes flips the script on the classic Sherlock Holmes universe. Instead of following the world-famous detective, we dive into the life of his brilliant, fearless sister, Enola. When her mother mysteriously disappears, Enola embarks on a journey through Victorian London to uncover the truth, all while trying to stay one step ahead of her famous brother, Sherlock, who is determined to bring her back home. Stay tuned, because we'll also dive into some lesser-known facts you might not have noticed the first time around. By the end of this review, you'll know whether Enola Holmes is a must-watch or just another mystery that fades into the background. If you want more insightful reviews like this, make sure you subscribe to Movies Review, where we bring you the latest in-depth analysis of your favorite films. Let's get started. Enola Holmes, the teenage sister of the legendary detective Sherlock Holmes, is far more than just a supporting character in her brother's world. Set in Victorian England, Enola Holmes introduces us to a young girl raised by her eccentric mother, Eudora Holmes, who instills in her a deep love for independence and mystery solving. Enola's world is far from ordinary. Her mother teaches her unconventional skills, from fencing to cryptic codes, preparing her for an extraordinary life. However, when Enola's mother mysteriously disappears, leaving behind only cryptic clues, Enola is thrust into a world of danger and deception. As she navigates the bustling streets of London, Enola must rely on her wits and skills to solve the mystery of her mother's disappearance. But her journey is complicated by the ever-present shadow of her famous brother, Sherlock, and the authorities who are determined to bring her back home. Enola's mission. The central conflict of the movie revolves around Enola's mission to uncover the truth about her missing mother. Enola is left with a trail of strange clues that her mother has carefully placed for her to follow. As she delves deeper into the mystery, she discovers that her mother's disappearance is tied to a larger conspiracy involving powerful figures in Victorian society. The stakes grow higher as Enola must stay one step ahead of Sherlock, who is keen to bring her back home and ensure she follows the rules. The chase through London becomes not only a race against time, but also a battle of wits. As Enola tries to outsmart her brother and evade capture, she meets new friends, including Lord Tewkesbury, who becomes an ally in her quest. The film blends action, mystery, and a dash of romance, all while showing Enola's growth as a detective in her own right. The plot is filled with thrilling twists that keep the audience on their toes. Early on, we see Enola uncovering her mother's hidden messages, leading her to Lord Tewkesbury, a young man whose life is in danger. The pursuit of both Tewkesbury and the secrets of her mother's disappearance takes Enola across London's dark alleys and grand estates, each step bringing her closer to uncovering the larger conspiracy. Meanwhile, Sherlock's investigation into his sister's whereabouts provides a fascinating parallel story, where we see how the famous detective's logical mind contrasts with Enola's emotional and creative approach to solving problems. The final act is a whirlwind of revelations, where Enola confronts the truth about her mother's mission and her own place in a world dominated by men like Sherlock. What begins as a simple missing person case unfolds into a grander story of empowerment, family, and identity. Millie Bobby Brown's portrayal of Enola is both charismatic and captivating. Enola is not just a typical teenage girl. She's headstrong, clever, and fiercely independent, qualities that are often overlooked in female characters from this period. Brown masterfully brings Enola to life with a balance of youthful exuberance and sharp intelligence. She's both a playful spirit, breaking the fourth wall with cheeky remarks, and a serious detective, tackling complicated mysteries with confidence and skill. Enola's character represents the power of self-reliance and the challenge of defying societal expectations. Unlike the often stereotypical young women in period dramas, Enola refuses to be confined by the roles others want her to play. Through her journey, she learns not only about her mother's secrets, but also about her own strength and potential as a detective in her own right. Henry Cavill's portrayal of Sherlock Holmes is a refreshing take on the iconic character. Often depicted as cold, calculating, and somewhat distant, Cavill's Sherlock is more compassionate and understanding, especially towards his sister, Enola. While he maintains the sharp intelligence and brilliant deductive reasoning that have made Sherlock famous, Cavill gives the character more depth by showing his internal struggle with family responsibilities. Unlike other portrayals of Sherlock, Cavill's version is not the perfect, all-knowing detective. He's a more humanized version, someone who still values family but struggles with how to handle a younger sibling who doesn't fit into his controlled world of logic. This dynamic between Sherlock and Enola adds a layer of complexity to the film's exploration of sibling relationships. The film also features several supporting characters who play crucial roles in Enola's journey. Lord Tewkesbury, played by Lewis Partridge, is an essential ally for Enola. Initially appearing as a naive and somewhat helpless figure, Tewkesbury evolves into someone who shares Enola's adventurous spirit and helps her navigate through the dangers she faces. His character serves as a reflection of Enola's potential romantic interest, yet he never detracts from her independence. Eudora Holmes, Enola's mother, played by Helena Bonham Carter, is a mysterious and fiercely independent woman who instills in her daughter the values of autonomy and defiance. Although she's absent for much of the film, her presence is felt through the clues she leaves behind and the powerful lessons she taught Enola. One of the central themes of Enola Holmes is empowerment, particularly for women in a world that often tries to limit their potential. Enola's character embodies this message, as she is constantly pushing against the boundaries set for women in Victorian England. She refuses to be confined to traditional female roles and strives to forge her own path, whether through solving mysteries or challenging the expectations placed upon her by society. The film sends a strong message about the importance of independence, self-discovery, and defying societal norms. Enola's journey is a testament to the power of female empowerment, showing that a young woman can be just as capable, if not more so, than any man, even in a world dominated by figures like Sherlock Holmes. At its core, Enola Holmes is a story about family, how we define it, how we challenge it, and how we rely on it. The film explores Enola's complicated relationship with her brother, Sherlock, and her absent mother. While Sherlock tries to bring Enola back into the fold of the Holmes family, his more traditional view of family contrasts with Enola's rebellious nature. This dynamic is especially interesting because it shows two siblings with different approaches to their lives and roles in society. Enola's quest to find her mother is also a search for identity and belonging, as she tries to reconcile the lessons her mother taught her with the expectations of her famous brother. The movie ultimately suggests that family is not just about blood, but also about the choices we make and the people who support us along the way. The elements of mystery and adventure are the driving forces behind the film's plot. Enola's journey is filled with thrilling moments, from decoding cryptic messages to outwitting dangerous adversaries. What makes the mystery aspect so engaging is how Enola approaches it. She uses her creativity, intuition, and unconventional thinking to solve puzzles that others might overlook. Her adventure through London is not just about finding her mother, but also about discovering her place in the world. The film beautifully blends these two aspects, offering a story that's not only entertaining, but also thought-provoking, as Enola grows and matures throughout her adventure. Enola Holmes is directed by Harry Bradbeer, who brings a fresh, dynamic approach to a well-worn genre. Brad Beer's direction blends humour, action, and serious moments in a way that makes the film feel both light-hearted and emotionally resonant. The film's tone is playful and whimsical in certain parts, especially when Enola breaks the fourth wall to speak directly to the audience. This gives the story an intimate feel and allows viewers to connect with Enola's emotions and thoughts. At the same time, Brad Beer doesn't shy away from darker, more serious themes, such as the struggles Enola faces in a male-dominated world and her search for her mother. The balance between these tones makes Enola Holmes accessible to a wide audience, from young viewers to adults, as it manages to entertain while also exploring deeper themes of independence and identity. Brad Beer also creates an energetic rhythm in the film, moving swiftly through action sequences and dialogue while maintaining enough depth to explore the personal journeys of each character. The film doesn't just rely on its mystery elements, but uses them to deepen the character development, especially Enola's. The result is a film that feels both adventurous and heartfelt, with enough twists and turns to keep the audience engaged until the very end. The visual aesthetic of Enola Holmes perfectly captures the essence of Victorian England, while also adding a modern flair. Cinematographer Giles Nutgans does a remarkable job of presenting a London that feels both authentic and stylized. From the dark cobblestone streets to the grand estates of the aristocracy, every setting in the film contributes to the story's atmosphere. The costume design also plays a significant role in establishing the characters. Enola's outfits are a mixture of practicality and defiance, emphasizing her independent nature, while Sherlock's more traditional attire contrasts with his sister's rebellious spirit. In terms of pacing and structure, the movie doesn't drag at any point, keeping the audience on the edge of their seats. The film flows seamlessly between Enola's investigation and the personal moments with her family, which provides a nice balance. The pacing is fast enough to maintain excitement, but slow enough to allow the characters' emotional arcs to unfold naturally. The visuals, combined with Brad Beer's direction, help create a rich, immersive world that serves as the perfect backdrop for Enola's journey. Millie Bobby Brown delivers a standout performance as Enola Holmes. Known for her role in Stranger Things, Brown proves that she can shine in a completely different genre. She brings a youthful energy and charisma to the role, making Enola not only a relatable character, but also an empowering one. Brown's ability to switch between moments of humor, tension, and vulnerability is impressive. She carries the film with grace, maintaining a sense of strength and resilience while also showing the emotional turmoil Enola faces as she navigates her family dynamics and her quest for truth. Her portrayal is layered, and it's clear she's not just playing a typical detective. She's portraying a young woman on the brink of discovering who she really is. Henry Cavill's take on Sherlock Holmes is one of the more nuanced portrayals of the famous detective. While other actors have made Sherlock appear cold and detached, Cavill's version is warmer, more grounded, and far more human. He brings a subtle emotional depth to the role, showing Sherlock as a man caught between his duty to his family and his logical, analytical nature. This Sherlock is not perfect. He's unsure about how to handle his sister, and his sense of control is constantly challenged by Enola's independent spirit. Cavill and Brown have great chemistry, which adds a layer of complexity to their sibling relationship, and their dynamic is one of the film's most engaging aspects. The supporting cast also delivers strong performances. Helena Bonham Carter plays Eudora Holmes, Enola's mother, with the perfect balance of mystery and rebelliousness. Though her screen time is limited, Carter leaves a lasting impact with her portrayal of a woman who dares to challenge society's expectations. Lewis Partridge as Lord Tewkesbury provides a charming, if somewhat naive, counterpart to Enola's strong personality. Partridge's chemistry with Brown adds a touch of romance to the story, though it never overshadows the central focus on Enola's personal growth. Sam Claflin also plays a memorable role as Mycroft Holmes, Sherlock's more conservative brother, who presents yet another obstacle in Enola's path to independence. The plot of Enola Holmes is one of its strongest elements. The mystery at the heart of the story is engaging from start to finish, with enough twists and turns to keep viewers hooked. The film strikes a perfect balance between action and character-driven moments, making it not just a mystery film, but an exploration of family, identity, and independence. The story is fresh and exciting, offering a new perspective on the Sherlock Holmes universe while maintaining the essence of the detective genre. The mix of personal stakes and societal commentary gives the plot depth and relevance, making it more than just a surface-level adventure. Enola's character is a breath of fresh air in a genre often dominated by male figures like Sherlock Holmes. The film does an excellent job of highlighting her independence, intelligence, and resourcefulness. It's a refreshing take on the detective genre, where the female lead is not just a sidekick or a love interest, but the protagonist driving the story forward. Enola's journey is one of self-discovery, empowerment, and resilience, making her a character young viewers can look up to and older audiences can appreciate for her complexity and strength. The chemistry between Enola and the other characters, especially Sherlock, is one of the film's most enjoyable aspects. Their sibling rivalry is both entertaining and emotional, with moments of humor and tension that drive the film's heart. The relationship between Enola and Lord Tewkesbury also adds depth to the story, offering a subplot of friendship and potential romance without detracting from Enola's own narrative. The interactions between the characters are one of the main reasons the film feels so engaging and relatable. While Enola Holmes is mostly well-paced, there are a few moments where the story drags slightly. Some scenes, particularly the ones where Enola is alone and reflecting on her journey, could have been trimmed down to maintain the film's overall momentum. These slower moments are necessary for character development, but at times they disrupt the flow of the otherwise fast-paced narrative. However, this is a minor issue that doesn't overshadow the film's overall enjoyment. While the movie does a great job of keeping viewers engaged, there are some moments where the plot feels a bit predictable. The film follows many of the traditional mystery tropes, which can make certain aspects of the story easy to guess. However, Enola Holmes adds enough twists and emotional depth to make the journey worthwhile, even if the destination isn't entirely surprising. The predictability doesn't diminish the film's charm, but is worth noting for viewers who are familiar with the genre. While Enola's character is well developed, some of the supporting characters, especially Lord Tewkesbury and Mycroft Holmes, could have used more depth. Tewkesbury's character arc, while charming, doesn't fully explore his potential as an ally or as a character in his own right. Mycroft, played by Sam Claflin, is more of a caricature of the controlling older brother and doesn't undergo as much development as one might expect. The film focuses primarily on Enola's journey, which is understandable, but some of the secondary characters could have benefited from a bit more exploration. Enola Holmes is an engaging and refreshing take on the Sherlock Holmes universe, with a compelling plot, memorable characters, and a strong message of empowerment. While there are a few pacing issues and predictable moments, the film's strengths far outweigh its weaknesses. Millie Bobby Brown shines in the lead role, delivering a performance that is both playful and serious, making Enola a character you'll root for from start to finish. The movie's themes of family, independence, and mystery are perfectly executed, making it an enjoyable experience for viewers of all ages. Whether you're a fan of Sherlock Holmes or just looking for a thrilling adventure, Enola Holmes is definitely worth the watch.